Hi, our proud fellow youth watching American patriots. We are back once again. We are true conservative Asian voice in America. While we are in the Korean Peninsula, having meetings and planning sessions with our intelligence operating agents and informants, including field humans, we could witness the total economic collapse of South Korea. In South Korea, a lot of small business owners are losing their businesses. They are filing bankruptcy. A lot of people are losing their jobs. The unemployment rose up to the level South Korea experienced right after IMF crisis about 20 years ago. Even worse, young people graduating from out of colleges and universities, they cannot find a job. Unemployment rate is skyrocketing right now in South Korea. Moon Jae-In, he is all about giving food, oil, rice, and many other things to Kim Jong-Un. He is working so hard. Moon Jae-In works so hard to figure out how he could help Kim Jong-Un to survive the economic sanctions that UN and United States imposed upon the North Korean evil regime. That's all he's caring about. He has already shipped so much oil and food to North Korea in violation of the sanctions. Can you believe that? He sent to North Korea 100 shiploads of processed petroleum, like gasoline, to North Korea in violation of the sanctions. And he even imported North Korean mined charcoal and the minerals. And he imported to burn them in the power plants in South Korea, which was another violation, another form of a violation of the economic sanctions against North Korea. And what's really shocking, the Hyundai corporation that makes Hyundai cars, they had to shut down their plants, their production plants in China. They're kissing up to China, Xi Jinping. Yet Xi Jinping caused them to shut down their plants in China, because China now, they are making their own cars. They stole all the car production, auto production technologies and the how-to informations from Hyundai Corporation of South Korea, And they started to produce their own cars. And they said, we don't want South Korean cars anymore, made and sold in China. And about a month ago, one of the Hyundai's employees who work in the production assembly line, he confessed. He came out in the news media, some YouTube news media program, and he said, well, the automakers, Hyundai automakers, who belong to some labor union, automakers union, I guess, he said he see his fellow workers of Hyundai Corporation watching video presentations, video clips, and playing games on iPads and the Samsung tablets mounted inside the car wheel hub while putting bolts and nuts on the cars. Can you believe that? I mean, these cars are moving on the assembly line and the conveyor belts. Cars are coming, and they just cannot take their eyes off their Samsung tablets or the iPads, playing games and watching dramas. Maybe they were watching the Gangnam Style music video or the BTS music video while putting bolts and nuts on the cars they were putting together. They actually have video clips, pictures of these employees watching on iPad, playing games on iPad, Samsung tablets, and smoking cigarettes while assembling the cars. That's how Hyundai and the Kia cars are made in South Korea. And guess what? I have a neighbor who recently bought a Hyundai Santa Fe, the SUV, about 3 months ago. I guess about 4 months ago. You know what? He told me, he shared with me, he has so much problem, so many tedious problems already, only 4 months old. And while I was working in my front yard, one day I heard him turning his ignition. Guess what? Horrible squeaky noise and the rattling noise. Oh man, I have about 12-year-old Infiniti. My 12-year-old Infiniti sounds much better than my neighbor's Hyundai Santa Fe, which is only 4 months old. And now I understand why his car sounds like that. Because the automakers, the members of automakers union in Hyundai Corporation and Kia Corporation in South Korea, they have cigarette in their mouth, smoking, pumping out smoke, while putting bolts and nuts. And maybe smoking and watching games and playing games and watching drama clips on iPad and Samsung tablets while working on while assembling the car. Incredible. If you ask me to show the proof of what I just told you, I can give you the YouTube links. I can show you. I can give you the YouTube links where all this are revealed. Actual Hyundai and Kia automaker employees watching video clips, playing games on iPad and Samsung tablets with the cigarette in his mouth while putting bolts and nuts, while connecting the electrical cables together, while assembling the cars. No wonder my neighbor's Hyundai Santa Fe rattles, sounds like a junker, only after 4 months. I would never buy South Korean cars. No way. I don't want to waste my money. Especially knowing that South Korean automakers union members, they are all pro-North Koreans. They are pro-North Koreans. They all belong to the same movement called Jusapa. Jusapa means following a group following the mandates pronounced by Kim Il-sung of North Korea, the grandfather of Kim Jong-Un. Yeah. And these guys, they were getting paid over $100,000 annual salary. Can you believe that? Even automakers in Japan or Germany, they don't make that kind of salaries. But I heard even newbies who just joined the automakers union working for the Hyundai and Kia Corporation in South Korea. Newbies, I'm talking about like 3 years or 4 years after joining the automakers union in South Korea. They are getting paid $100,000 annual salary. 100,000. Can you believe that? In Japan, automakers who have about like 20, 25, 30 year, or even 35 years of experience in assembling cars, their average salary is only up to the maximum 85,000, I heard. 85,000 US dollars. But in South Korea, those guys, those automakers who belong to automakers union, who have cigarettes in their mouth, and they have their iPad or Samsung tablets mounted somewhere inside the wheel hub. You understand what I'm talking about, right? The space in the space inside the fender before the wheel goes in onto the axles. They mount their iPad and tablets in there, in that space, and while pumping smoke from smoking their cigarettes, watching dramas, video clips and even playing games. Even playing games. Maybe they're playing some like a gambling, doing some gambling too, online gambling, while putting bolts and nuts and connecting cables onto the cars that came in front of them, sitting on the conveyor belts. I wouldn't waste my money buying such lousily made, horribly assembled South Korean cars. No way. I'd rather stick to my 12-year-old Infiniti. Keep repairing them. Or, as a proud American patriot, I'd rather buy, if I absolutely need to buy a new car, I'll add another Ford. I currently have Ford Explorer. I would buy another one. I would buy another SUV. I don't have to have another sedan like Infiniti. I'll buy a Ford or Chevrolet. President Trump, we need to put 70, 85%, even up to 85% tariff on South Korean cars trying to come into the US market. You know, when the US produced cars, American made cars trying to go into South Korean market, what kind of tariff do they face? Up to 85% tariff. Up to 85% tariff. President Trump, let's make the trade field fair for American automakers. Why we put only, what, 10%, 15% tariffs on South Korean cars, while our cars face 75 up to even 85% tariffs on our Cadillacs and the, no way. I heard Lincoln cars, Cadillacs, they face 85%. No way. President Trump, make it fair. I hope you are listening to this video clip. Well, my fellow American patriots, let's all call up our president to listen to our voice, to make the trade field fair, not totally one-sided. It's totally lopsided right now. 15% to 85%. No, that's not fair. That's not fair. Let's make money by raising tariffs on the South Korean cars coming into the United States and use that money to build a wall at the US and Mexico border. We'll make enough money to raise beautiful wall all the way from East Coast to West Coast. All the way. I don't want to drive South Korean junker. Well, our fellow YouTube-watching American patriots, if you don't want to suffer like my neighbor is doing with the South Korean junkers, buy American cars, beautiful cars. Ford, Chevrolet, beautiful trucks that Ford and Chevrolet pumps out. Rams trucks, Cadillac SUVs, Lincoln SUVs, beautiful. You can't even compare them to the South Korean junkers. Let's be patriotic. Thank you.